bacon and egg muffins. What you'll need as you watch this is a copy of the recipe and a pencil or a pen so you can tick off the ingredients and the steps in the method as I go through. Now, bacon and egg muffins is not something I would be encouraging or promoting as an everyday breakfast. However, it is nice on the occasion to cook something a little different, perhaps on the weekend. And instead of going to Macca's to buy these, you can make them yourself and you can choose to use wholemeal English muffins or bread, whatever else you like. Let's tick off the ingredients. Number one English muffin, and you just need to cut it in half. This is per person, so if you're in a group of 2, obviously you'll get 2. If you're in a group of 3, collect 3. And the same goes for the rest of the ingredients. You need 1 egg per person, and I've collected that on my plate. 1 slice of bacon. Now it says a large slice, but we're just making a snack size today because we're cooking in the afternoon. So a small piece is quite fine. That's going to fit nicely on our muffin, gosh. 1 slice of cheese. We've got the plasticky kind of feeling stuff because it melts really well when it's on the warm muffin. And we've got some butter or something similar. I've just got Nuttelex here. It's just a butter alternative. And some tomato sauce, which is optional too. Step number 1, using a non-stick pan. Hey, you've all got these in your kitchens. Cook the bacon for a couple of minutes on both sides until it's golden, and if you want it crispy, then you can cook it that little bit longer. So I'm going to go ahead and add in my bacon to the pan. I did have my pan heating for a minute or so to start with to get it warm, so I can hear that sizzle straight away. So I'm now going to leave that for 1 to 2 minutes on one side. Using my tongs, flip it to the other side. I'm not going to continually flip it over, just once, and then I'll show you what it looks like. My bacon's been cooking for about a minute or so either side, so this is what it looks like. You can see a bit of golden brown on both sides, but mine's still soft. I don't really like it too crispy in a muffin because I think it makes it hard to bite through. I'm going to now put that onto a clean board and cover it with a lid, I think. Here's my lid. Just to try and keep some of the heat in. You can also use foil. The next step asks us to crack the egg into the pan and cook for 2 minutes either side. Again, it depends how you like yours cooked. Right, so I'm going to use my spatula to get a really clean crack, making sure that this is over the bench or over my pan. Don't crack it over the floor in case it spills. So I'm going to make a nice sharp crack, then use my 2 thumbs to get into the crack in the shell and pour it quite close, obviously without risking burning myself, to the pan. And then putting this into my scrap bowl. Now, I don't want to tip this up too much so that my egg runs around everywhere, but I want to try and keep my egg sort of in a circle. So I'm using my spatula to shape it so that it will sit nicely on the muffin that I'm using. So I'm just pushing in the edges a little as it starts to cook to make sure it stays small rather than spanning out. So again, I'm going to leave that for a minute or 2 until I can see that most of the egg white that started off clear has turned white. It is then ready to flip. Normally, I don't like to encourage you to use metal spatulas on a non-stick pan, but when it comes to flipping eggs, it really is the best option. So please just be careful and don't be scratching into the pan. Just one clean scoop underneath and flipping your egg over. I think my egg is getting close to being ready to flip. I will show you. So that's been about a minute. You can see that most of it is white and there's just some gooey clear around the yolk there. So I'm going to go ahead and scoop underneath it as quick as I can and then do a nice quick flip away from myself. And I can see that the bottom of my egg is cooked and you can see the shape there is sort of a circle that will fit on the muffin. I'm going to go ahead and let that cook for another minute and then put that aside as well and move on to the next step. My egg's now done. I can see it's all cooked. It's still a little bit soft when I press on it in the center because I like a runny yolk. If you want yours cooked all the way through, leave it on for another minute. I'm about to scoop it off now and add it to the board or plate that I've got here. And again, cover it with the lid to try and keep some heat in. Step number 3 says to spread our English muffin with the butter or your spread, about a teaspoon. Okay, so just a little bit on each piece. This is just going to help to toast it up. We're trying to use minimal dishes because we know with breakfast we want them to be fast. So I'm going to actually cook these muffins in the pan as well. So it says to place it butter side down. We don't need to wash the pan either because we're getting all the same flavours of the bacon and the egg. And you leave it on the pan until it's warm and slightly toasted. The only way we're going to be able to check that is to use our tongs or our spatula to peek underneath and see when it starts to go golden. And at that point, I'm going to take it straight off, put the cheese on top of it, and I'll show you that then. The roll's toasted. A slice of cheese going straight on to allow that warmth to start to melt the cheese. And then while it's still a little bit hot, I'm getting the egg and then the bacon straight on. And if you'd like a drizzle of sauce, then you can add a little squirt to that. And then the lid will go on. And there you have your own bacon and egg muffin. Your turn.